The Pittsburgh Penguins have found a hidden gem in free agent signing Justin Brazeau. Head coach Dan Muse and GM Kyle Dubas have put Brazeau in a huge position to become a great player, and he is scoring all the goals for the team. And today we'll be getting into how Brazeau is doing this, why he's looked so good on that second line, and can he keep up this pace with the Penguins throughout the whole regular season. But before we get into that and more, make sure you guys do, of course, subscribe to the channel, because here at Penguins Digest, we'll bring you guys all the Penguins news in the most digestible way fashionable. And for some reason, 67.5% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are loving the videos, of course, my name is Nikash Ganguli, and we are welcoming you to the channel with every video we make here on Penguins Digest, because we're trying to bring you all the content, game recaps, game previews. We got a little bit of a game preview closer to the end of this video, so if you do want to see that, make sure you guys stick around. And there'll be a lot to talk about with the Penguins, because it seems like there might be some trades. And if Justin Brazeau, who we're talking about in today's video, keeps up this scoring pace, he's going to be certainly a player of discussion. Maybe a possible trade, or just someone to keep around the team and be a nice story for the Penguins throughout the season. So let's get into the video here. So first things first, let's talk about the goal leaders, because right now Justin Brazeau has 4 goals in 4 games. He is tied for, I believe, that is 10th in the league with players, some elite talent. The Chris Kreider, known as a consistent goal scorer. Jake Neighbors, same thing. Kind of a player coming up in the St. Louis system. Matt Boldy, also another good player. And then look at this, guys. He's tied with Jack Eichel, Kirill Kaprizov, and Nathan MacKinnon in terms of, goal scoring right now. So, again, no assists, but if he keeps putting the puck in the nets, he's kind of crazy. So, I did want to make a video on Brazeau, because I think it's a super cool story about, how he's come up from, he was in the Leaf system. He was, obviously he did well in Minnesota and Boston, and now he is with the Penguins again with Kyle Dubas, kind of making waves and playing a lot higher in the lineup than I think a lot of Penguins fans thought he would. Even for me, when they signed him, I was like, oh, that's a solid 4th liner. Maybe not an everyday NHLer, but Coach Dan Muse sees a lot in him, and he's put on the second line. So let's look at his stats quickly, of course, we do kind of dig into these. Obviously, in his overage year with the North Bay Battalion all the way in 2018-19, which seems like forever ago, he had 61 goals and 113 points. Now, of course, he is 6'5" in the OHL, and there's a pretty big age and size gap in the OHL sometimes, so it makes sense that he would put up such crazy numbers. But 61 goals is nothing to bat your eyes at. And then, if for those of you that don't know, he actually had NHL offers when made the OHL team, or after the OHL, but he decided, because he's from Toronto, he wanted to go play with the Marlies and the Growlers, where he also had 27 goals with the Growlers. He was obviously way too good for the ECHL. Only played 22 games there for the Marlies, so that was something interesting. And then obviously, the big pandemic happened, and the Leafs just didn't keep him, which was super surprising for a lot of fans in the NHL, because he seemed like someone who could be promising. The Leafs put a lot of time into developing him. Kyle Dubas was GM at the time, so there's that connection there if you look at it now. And then he did end up with the Bruins, of course, where he, with Providence, he had 31 points in 51 games. And then eventually he did make it to the NHL officially in 23-24. 7 points in 19 games. They're pretty solid. And then the next year as a 4th liner, 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points, and only 57 games. Pretty good 4th line production. Traded to the Wild. Didn't do too well there. Even the playoffs, he wasn't too good. I mean, I guess 2 points in 6 games if your 4th liner is pretty good. And then the Penguins is where we are now, where he has 4 goals in 4 games. I believe he's shooting 40%, which is kind of crazy. I don't believe he'll keep that up. But, it's a lot of fun for the Penguins right now. So that is super, super cool, of course. And just looking at his contract, too, $1.5 million for the next 2 years. To me, if Brazeau only scores 16 more goals throughout the rest of the season, that contract is already worth it. Like, let's say he scores 20 goals and has 20 assists and has 40 points, and let's say he doesn't play the whole season. He plays 70 games, maybe. $1.5 million in today's cap era, that's a good contract by Kyle Dubas, and I think the connection there is super important. Again, right shot, 6'5", 220, and you know what? Dan Muse, when he saw training camp, he put Malkin, Mantha, and Brazeau together, which has been the best Penguins lines. Of course, in today's game, Ben Kindle not playing, unfortunately, part of their developmental plan for him. But Mantha, Malkin, Brazeau, I didn't think that line was going to stay for long, especially once someone like Russ came back or maybe when McGrody comes back. But if the Penguins are fully healthy, I think you must keep that line intact because Mantha, Malkin, Brazeau have been unbelievable. Because even if you look at Malkin here, 6 assists in 4 points. In 4 games there. So 6 points. He hasn't scored yet, but I'm sure that goal will come. He is playing absolutely amazing with those two players, and he is also 6'5". And the newcomer Anthony Mantha, who is also 6'5". The 6'5" line has 1 goal, 2 assists, and 3 points in 4 games. So that line, with the help of Brazeau, has been amazing. And I think we already knew Anthony Mantha could be a top 6 NHL contributor. Malkin, pretty obvious he was a top 6 NHL contributor. I don't need to elaborate on that. But Brazeau? Who would have really thought that? Because if you thought that in the comment section, I'm going to think you're lying. Because I just did not see that happen. I thought it was going to be a 4th line winger, kind of bring some physical presence, some grit to the bottom of the Penguins lineup. But he is playing super high in the lineup and playing very well. Because even if I can't show you guys some of the advanced stats, this has been the best line on the team by far. They're controlling like 69% of expected goals when they're on ice. Essentially, if you just don't know what that means, they're just anything above 50 is a pretty solid for a line. It just means that you're controlling more of the ice. Like you're more likely to score a goal when you're on the ice versus versus the other team. So like for example, Russ, Crosby, Raquel, you probably would want a little bit more out of them at 37%. Same thing with a line like Dewar or Charlie Lizotte, which is the 4th line, 39.1%. Again, I said this for like 20 minutes played together. So that line has been really good. Expected goals for 3.2. Obviously, they're outdoing that right now. And expected goals against 1.4. So they've been super, super solid in the 40 minutes they played together. And if the Penguins team is fully healthy, I think this is a line you must keep together because they have been super duper solid. And I can't really say much else about that Justin Brazeau because I did not see this happening. It's just super surprising, super cool for the Penguins that this happened. I mean, obviously we did see some of the goal scoring touch in other leagues like the OHL and the AHL and the ECHL, but in the NHL he didn't really seem to have it as much. But if he can keep this pace up, that would be pretty good for Pittsburgh. Obviously, guys, I don't think he's gonna continue to score at a 40% clip. That's just, I don't think anybody has ever done that. The best shooters in the league are like a 15% shooter. So definitely expect some regression if we're being honest. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. That might what happened. But for now, the 6'5" line is trucking along. Dan Muse put together a really good line. And Kyle Dubas did a good job by signing both players. And they are complementing Malkin perfectly. Definitely not the most fleet of foot line, but they make up for it with their physical presence. And they have been dominating teams. Even in Penguins losses, there's the lines that have been putting up points. You'll see Mantha assisted by Brazeau and Malkin, or Brazeau assisted by Malkin and Mantha. Obviously, Malkin hasn't scored yet. Maybe that will be tonight because the Penguins, they are of course in Los Angeles. They just played Anaheim to play the Los Angeles Kings. Obviously, no Ben Kittle tonight. Arthur Shelovs will be in net, and hopefully Evgeni Malkin will get that first goal, guys. So let me know what you guys think about Justin Brazeau so far on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, Shelovs in net tonight. No Kindle, but still should be a fun game. And I'm hoping Malkin can get on the scoreboard. So again, if you guys did enjoy the video, let me know. Drop a comment what you guys think of Brazeau again. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. Subscribe and have a good one as always.